My name is Corey, or at least it was before everything happened. I think that's where I'll start, the beginning. Demeter, my mother, the goddess of the harvest, was a consort of Zeus, ruler of the sky and the gods, before he married Hera. That's when I was born. Both of my parents were kind people. My father, Zeus, may have been a bit stern at times, and my mother a little overprotective, but I was happy. And I thought even as I grew older that my father was at least fond of me. I was wrong. So very wrong. But then I'm getting ahead of myself. After several of the gods had attempted to woo me, my mother hid me away from their advances. I knew she felt the need to protect me, but I sometimes wondered what it would be like to be free and make my own choices. It was a silly thought, though. I didn't mind that much, as long as she was happy. One day, I was playing with some water nymphs and picking flowers. One in particular caught my eye. It was such a beautiful flower. At its center, it was golden yellow with petals that matched it extending outwards. Then the surrounding petals were pristine and white. It was flawless, and yet so simple. At first, I just wanted to touch it. Then before I could stop myself, I was plucking the perfect blossom from its stem. Only, it didn't break. I pulled harder, and the ground started to open. The more I pulled, the more exhausted I felt, and the bigger the hole became. Soon I was looking over a chasm that stretched out in front of me. Panic made me freeze and stare at the man that rose up from the trench on a chariot. It was Hades, ruler of the underworld. Before I could even shout in protest, he swept me onto the carriage and dragged me down into the dark crater. In the underworld, I was kept in an unlit cell. The memories of my first day there are too horrific to recount. I never want to think about them again. Instead, I sit in my cell, and sometimes Hades will come by to talk with me. He talks about how he loved me from the first moment he saw me. He apparently went to my father, his brother, Zeus, for approval. He gained it, and was even warned that my mother would not look favorably upon the union. That's why he's decided to kidnap me. I thought I would feel betrayed after hearing this. It was odd. The only thing I felt now was numb. Numb to pain, to happiness, to feeling anything. As the days went on, I would dine with my captor for meals, and he dressed me in elegant gowns. And for every meal, I never ate. He tried to persuade me, but I couldn't stomach it. Not even I was sure why my appetite was gone. Soon I grew comfortable with my new life. I would even allow myself to smile and laugh on certain occasions. It wasn't that bad being in the underworld. Hades wasn't particularly cruel. He was almost understanding at times. Then one day, he came to me with an almost sad expression and talked to me about what had happened in my absence. My mother had become desperate. She roamed across the world and neglected the humans in her search for me. The sun god, Helios, finally told her what had happened to me and tried to persuade her that Hades was not an unfit husband for me. She flew into a rage and went to Zeus, saying she would destroy all of the humans by never allowing crops to grow again if he did not bring me back. Zeus had agreed and told Hades to return me. As a final request, Hades asked me to dine with him once more. Out of sympathy, I agreed. I even ate a few pomegranate seeds to appease him. When he returned to me, they realized I had eaten food in the underworld. I would now have to spend half of each year in the underworld with Hades and half of the year above ground with my mother. From then on, I was the goddess of springtime. Every year when I returned, my mother would allow flowers to bloom and the earth would be fertile. Then when I traveled back to the underworld, the world was cold and dark with ground too hard for anything to grow. Eventually, I grew to love Hades as he loved me. I was no longer Corey. Corey was innocent, loving, and kind to everyone she met. After all I had been through, I could no longer claim that as my disposition. No, I was something darker now. Humans would often invoke my name as a curse. My new name, that is. My name is Persephone, and I am the queen of the underworld and goddess of springtime.